All right, have we got Mr. Knowles? Knowles, how you doing? Hey, your hair looks marvelous.
I can't believe you told them about the toupee. I've managed to keep that under wraps for 27 years. C'est la vie.
But it's a good one, I got to say. It is terrific. Mm-hmm. So this week, I didn't want to just keep talking about the NFL. I'm a big NFL fan, and I could just go off on it every week. And I have just been... First of all, I wrote a piece at PJ Media that you can go over and look at Klavan on the Culture, where I just say I thought Trump was 100% right about this. I thought he got it exactly right.
Absolutely.
I've said it on the show. Is it still going on? I mean, I'm not going to watch until they stop doing it. So is it still going on?
You may be a big NFL fan. I am not a big NFL fan. It will not surprise you to find out I was not the quarterback of my high school or college team. I know.
The water boy.
Yeah, that's right. This is the most NFL I've ever had to watch. South Park actually joked about this, that everyone's just tuning in to see if they stand or kneel or not, and then they tune out, which their ratings seem to bear out. Yeah. But it's gone on again. I have a little run. We don't have enough time for me to read everybody who knelt and stood, but just a quick rundown. 6 Seattle Seahawks sat, 30 49ers knelt, drunk hit-and-run driver Marshawn Lynch of the Oakland Raiders wore an Everybody versus Trump shirt. 1 New York Giant knelt, Baltimore Ravens and Steelers all knelt to massive boos, and then they stood up when the national anthem was actually sung, trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Okay.
Doesn't work, fellas. 6 Buffalo Bills knelt. 1 Tennessee Titans stayed in the locker room. New Orleans Saints took a knee. 3 Dolphins knelt. The Jacksonville Jaguars knelt before the anthem to boos. 2 Detroit Lions knelt. Everybody else tap danced or did a little sachet. I don't know. It's very complicated this week.
I will say that the LA Rams, I tuned them in just to see, and they did not kneel. One guy raised his fist or something like that.
Yeah, there were some raised fists around, but it is true. The LA Rams all stood.
Yeah.
Good on them. That's great.
Me too. I thought so. But so what's the reaction? I mean, what I love about this, by the way, I get this on my iPad. They send me the news, and it basically is CNN ranting about Trump. And so what a bad week Donald Trump had because he criticized the NFL. And I thought, I'm not so sure. What are the people saying?
First of all, I loved Byron York had this piece out today. The headline was, on game day, new polls show that what Americans think about NFL protests and Trump. And I thought he was actually joking. He is referring to real polls, but the polls are that nobody's watching these games. That's the poll. Great analysis, Byron. It is true. I mean, across all of these polls, the kneeling protests have massive disapproval across the American people, and Donald Trump's handling of it is basically 50-50. People are split on whether they like that he's weighing in, but they despise the protests. There is this phenomenon going on now, which is that people, NFL fans, are holding public burnings of their memorabilia and of their season tickets.
This is just before, but I laugh when you say that, but just before you go on with this, I don't know if you ever saw a movie called Silver Lining Playbook.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. It's a terrific movie, but it is about the passion with which NFL supporters support their team. So when people go out and burn their memorabilia, this is like, it's like me going out and burning pictures of my kids, I mean, like they really love these teams. So this is no small thing.
It's so beautiful because it turns out the people love their country more, and they don't like it when these criminals, one NFL player is arrested on average once a week, every 7 days.
Every 7 days? Really?
Yeah, every 7 days. And these aren't like, they didn't pay a traffic ticket. These are like rape, murder, very serious crimes.
For which they get no punishment whatsoever.
Yeah, these absolutely empty-headed people who make tens of millions of dollars a year to run around and make us giggle, when those people criticize the country and spout off on things they know nothing about, turns out the fans don't like it. So Ronnie Rebar, the owner of a bar and grill, who's a big Steelers fan, he hosted a burning of his memorabilia, and he posted it on Facebook. It got hundreds of likes and shares. Steelers fan Robert Smith posted a video of himself burning over $1,000 of memorabilia. 2 groups of Ravens fans posted videos burning merchandise a couple weeks ago. New York Giants fan posted a video of himself burning season tickets. There's real future value. It's really making a statement.
Yeah.
Indianapolis Colts fans, same thing. New Orleans Saints fans had a big Facebook video where they poured lighter fluid all over their jerseys and flags and lit it all on fire. 100 Patriots fans showed up to a guy's house in Massachusetts. They weren't actually, it's against the law to burn anything other than wood in Massachusetts, so they just symbolically burned a few caps threw out the rest or donated it to charity.
When you say they showed up at a guy's house, you mean a player's house?
No. At a fan's house.
Oh,
He
at a fan's house.
hosted the gathering.
I see.
The gathering included 100 people.
Wow.
And they burned all of it, and then they sang the national anthem as it burned. Gotta love the cleverness. And
Yeah.
the thing I notice about this, I mean, there are people who are quitting their positions. Some guy left the Buffalo Bills after 30 years. He was a staff member there. He just thought it was disgusting. What is interesting about all of this is, sure, the burning of the memorabilia, the reaction. But what they all have in common is they all post this on Facebook.
Yeah.
They're all posting videos of this. And it's because the silent majority of Americans finally can break a media stranglehold. We've been seeing this for 2 years. We've seen this with the way that Donald Trump has interacted with the political establishment, with the American people. We're seeing that the mainstream media, which now ESPN might as well be CNN or MSNBC, they no longer tell us what reality is. We can see for ourselves that, I'm not the only person who thinks that this is drivel. And they now have their own new media platform, the right-wing exuberance that we're seeing in culture and new media. They're expressing that too. The players have a right to express their opinion. Well, now the fans have a right to express theirs and broadcast it to millions of people.
You know, it's funny. Bob Schieffer, the veteran reporter, I mean, he must be almost 80 at this point. He has a new book out called Overloaded about how we're getting too much information. And he was complaining. He said, yeah, okay, they can get the news on social media, but they don't have our standards. And I think the thing is, their standards are pretty good compared to the media. Speaking of young folks using the media, the new social media, I have to say that you and I think we finally have had a breakthrough on our proposed podcast for my new novel, Another Kingdom. We finally are getting the episodes together, and we're hoping to launch this on October 13th.
Well, the devil does not want us to do this.
The devil does.
We know
I swear, Knowles, that I believe that it's been uncanny the way opposition has come to
It
this.
is bizarre. Parts of episodes disappearing, sound not working, people dropping. I mean, it has been really strange, which is why we are going to do this book.
That's right.
It's a great story, but it's also it is evidence that conservatives get to use the new media to get stories out that would never be made. But it's not even that it's a conservative story. It's just that it's a story that doesn't toe political correctness. I don't want to give away too much of the story. I think people are going to probably tune in when we're going to release on Friday the 13th. But Another Kingdom presents a transsexual killer. Right. You could never get that made in Hollywood ever today.
Not now. And I have to say, it's not a comment on transsexualism. It's not, that's not what it's about. It's just that's the character, and it's an old tough guy. It's not, it's not a political story. But yesterday I went to see American Assassin, which is based on one of the late Vince Flynn's novels. And Vince, I know, was a staunch pro-American conservative. Okay, and I won't go into it. It was the original novel took place in the past. It was the backstory of his character, Mitch Rapp, but they've updated it so it takes place in the present. And the guy with the top screenwriting credit on it is a guy named Stephen Schiff. And this is not to knock Stephen, but he did one of the major drafts that was based on my novel, True Crime, which became a Clint Eastwood picture. And Stephen and I went to lunch, and he said to me, "Listen, True Crime it centers around a white man on death row who may be there because of political correctness. He may have been sentenced to death because nobody wanted to say that it was a black guy who did this thing, all right?" Stephen sat there and said, "I cannot do that politically. We're making him a black guy." And they made the guy on death row in the movie a black guy, which made a lot of the movie not make sense because the whole point of the movie was only a jerk like the reporter in the movie could see the truth because he wasn't constricted by this. So Stephen is writing American Assassin, and sure enough, it's a pro-American story. It's got evil Islamists in it, which I really appreciated. But it's got a lot of dialogue suggesting that the Iranian nuclear deal was a great thing, and it's only the moderates in Iran support it, but it's only the evil doers in Iran who are against it. I'm sitting there going, what on earth? Wait,
is the screenplay was written by Ben Rhodes, or it was written by this buddy of yours?
I thought, I don't want to speak for Vince Flynn. The guy died way, way too young. It's not for me to say what he would have thought, but I'm pretty sure that he was not sitting there going, that Iran nuclear deal, that was a good thing. So the point is, it's not that the story we're telling is a conservative story. It's just the story we're telling. We just don't think about political correctness. I mean,
that's why that's why the devil doesn't want us to make it, certainly.
Yeah.
But I do find it pretty funny that the blank book, I think, destroyed 90% of any shot I'll ever have at a Hollywood career. And then immediately the next thing we do is this, which is like a sledgehammer to it. But it's such a joy. And that is the way to put it. There's nothing about the story where you would say, oh, yeah, that's a Trump voter who wrote that. But you do get the sense that it was a conservative who wrote it because you read the story and you think, oh, yeah, that's reality. Oh, yeah, that's a reality that I could understand.
It's sad that reality has become a conservative principle. It's like you'd think that we could actually agree on that. All right, that's coming out Friday the 13th of October.
Another Kingdom, Friday the 13th.
Absolutely. It's good to talk to you. The Michael Knowles Show comes up after. You are going to do a show today, right?
I'm doing a show, and then I am flying out to the UK.
Bum.
And but we will also have one Columbus Day show.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna pre-record one because all of this anti-Columbus Day stuff is driving me so crazy. We can't let it go away without mentioning it.
Excellent. And I know Shapiro has got the Jewish holiday, so he's taking some time off. So basically, I am the Daily Wire.
It's all you. It's better than the alternative, though, because if you were the one on vacation, we'd be plunged into a Klavan-less week, and God only knows what would happen to us.
You'd probably never survive. All right, the Michael Knowles Show will be on today after this. Good to see you, Knowles. I'll talk to you later.
See you.